a comprehensive look at trends, fund profiles, and more in Exploring ETFs.
Hi everyone, welcome to Exploring ETFs. I'm Neena Mishra, and today we are talking about Metaverse ETFs. Remember Metaverse? So, Metaverse theme had generated a lot of buzz in late 2021, particularly since Facebook rebranded itself as Meta platforms. And then a number of other technology companies also started talking about investing billions in the metaverse. And then last year, these stocks tanked and investors kind of lost interest in these stocks. This year, these stocks, related stocks and ETFs have done quite well. So we'll take a look at those ETFs. But let's start with what exactly Metaverse is. So in simple words, Metaverse is a shared virtual 3D world where people could interact or carry out their day-to-day businesses via their digital avatars. So although the initial coverage has been on the uses as in gaming, socializing, but ultimately there could be immense uses with immense potential. For example, surgeons using the metaverse to carry out complex surgeries, engineers using the digital twins of cities, factories to solve complex problems. Basically, when we remember the early days of the internet, when it was just white text on black background, and then came images followed by videos. So a 3D immersive experience, which the metaverse would be, that seems just like a logical progression because of explosive growth in computing power. So many companies would be developing the metaverse. It's not going to be controlled by one company, and moving between different metaverses would be like switching between websites on the internet today. That is according to metaverse experts. In the coming years or decades, metaverse is likely to become a significant investment opportunities. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang says that Omniverse or the metaverse is going to be a new economy larger than our current economy. And then there are estimates from other companies. McKinsey estimates this market could grow to $5 trillion in annual revenue by 2030. And Citi expects metaverse to generate revenue worth between $8 trillion and $13 trillion by 2030. Now, let's take a look at Metaverse ETF. So the one by Roundhill, this is the first ETF which launched in 2021. This holds companies involved in the Metaverse. The stocks are selected by a committee, and it has an expense ratio of 59 basis points. So this had the first mover advantage and has 440 million in assets so far. Metaverse remains a very hot theme in the ETF universe as far as providers are concerned. So we have seen a number of Metaverse ETF launches since then, but they have failed to get assets. But let's learn a little bit more about this ETF by going to the code page on Zacks.com. So you can read our research report articles about this ETF. I also did a podcast with the provider last year. You can learn more from there. Then you can use the link and go to this code page and see what it holds. Roundhill has a lot of interesting research on this ETF. You can read that. And these are the top holdings. NVIDIA, 9%, Apple 8%, then Roblox, Meta Platforms, etc. Now, all these companies have done so well this year, particularly Meta and NVIDIA. That explains the performance of this ETF, why it has done so well this year. Now, as I mentioned, after this ETF, a number of other providers launched Metaverse ETF. It remains a very hot theme. But they have failed to gather assets, as I mentioned. So the Fidelity Metaverse ETF has 14 million. This is the cheapest in the space with 39 basis points expense ratio. ProShares has 5 million and 58 basis points in expense ratio. Found Metaverse ETF 5 million 70 basis points. First Trust 70 basis points has just about 1 million. GlobalX launched one which has now 2 million in assets, charges 50 basis points. The newest one is by iShares. The ticker symbol is IVRS, 5 million in assets so far, 47 basis points expense ratio. And actually, there's one more, Punk Submersive, which has less than $1 million in assets, so I didn't include that in the table. But let's take a look at the cheapest one by Fidelity. So here it is. This is the Fidelity Metaverse ETF. The ticker symbol is FMET. So again, you can go to the quote page, use the link to go to Fidelity web page and see what it holds. So in these ETFs, you will get a lot of international exposure because this is a theme which is not confined to the US. So this particular ETF has about 54% exposure to the US and the rest is international. You will see similar companies but different weights. So Adobe, Meta Platforms, NVIDIA, Apple, Google. Now on the next slide, I have the comparative performance, and I don't have the iShares product here because that launched just this year, just about a month back. But all other ETFs, they underperform the S&P 500 except for the Fidelity product, which delivered performance quite similar to the S&P 500 index over the past year. The one was by ProShares was the worst performer. Then on the next slide, I have the year-to-date performance because this looks so different. So year-to-date, the one by Roundhill has delivered the best performance. It's up about 26% year-to-date, and that, as I mentioned, thanks mainly to excellent performance by companies like NVIDIA and Meta Platforms. And the S&P 500 index is up 8%, and all these ETFs have outperformed the S&P 500 index. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out zacks.com/promo for an interesting offer. Also, make sure to subscribe to all our videos, our YouTube video channel, so that you do not miss anything. And I will see you next week.